What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the Fender Sonic Series Squier and some super fun mods that I made to it. Is it worth doing? I don't know. That might be up to you. We'll talk about that in a minute. Before we get going, I want to say thank you to all my Patreon supporters and those of you that support the channel. Dylan Talks Tone pickups, those will be in the description below. That's what we put in there. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, the little super thanks button down there is a new thing. If you're not into Patreon or any of that kind of stuff and you just want to say, hey, thanks, support the channel, there's a little button down there for that as well. Over on Patreon, I did upload a separate video that was just kind of all the uncut noodling around on this guitar for this demo. So you're going to see a few things through this video, but I put the rest of that stuff over on Patreon, just kind of uncut me messing around with various sounds and stuff, so you can check that out. Anyway, so this is really, really cool. These guitars are 199 bucks. Super affordable. If you watch the other preview, we've done 2 videos with this guitar already. It came out of the box great. I haven't had to touch the frets. I haven't had to really mess with it at all. I did change the strings. We put String Joy 10 to 46s on it because I'm not a 9s guy. Didn't have to adjust the truss rod. It was actually pretty dang good. Played with the string height just a little bit to get it just a little bit perfect. And we went ahead and switched out the tuners. Now, somebody asked me in the last video, why would you do that? Because I thought the tuners were pretty good. They were a little on the sketchy side, to tell you the truth. I had a set of these Clusen die-cast tuners. I'll leave a link to them in the description. I did have to drill the little ear holes, but it covered up these had those Squier 2-hole tuners on them, and they were just a little loose and they just weren't really that great, which makes sense. It's a $200 guitar, so that's where you're gonna, that's where they save the money. So I went ahead and changed them. Of course, we had to drill the little holes, so now it's like a proper tuner. I think they're 19:1 machine ratio, which is killer. So they're super adjustable. The guitar stays in tune perfectly. The nut was a synthetic bone nut. I didn't see a need to change it. It was not rattly. The height was good. It seemed fine. So, there's going to be a lot of nut nerds out there who think it needs a bone nut to have amazing. But we're talking about a $200 guitar here. And it sounds great. And it plays great. So I figured, hey, let's not worry about it. I did not change the pots in the guitar for one reason. Because they're the little 7mm pots, they seem fine. I measured them. They're within tolerance relatively closely. And for the punk rock nature of this guitar, I just didn't see the purpose in it because there's no switch here. If I were to put another plate in this guitar, it would have a switch hole, and I don't have one that's just 2 knobs. I could have, I guess, drilled them out to the 3/8 of a regular normal pot, but I just didn't see the need in it because the guitar is so simple. We went ahead and put in our Dylan Pickups Super 8 in the special edition clear, and it sounds pretty awesome. This is a really fun guitar. some people would say that maybe it's not worth putting, so now I've got, between the pickup and the tuners, I've got more money in modifications than the guitar actually costs new. But I don't know that I care. It's kind of fun. The guitar is kind of fun. And honestly, this is one of those projects where you just kind of wanted to do it. What I like about these really inexpensive Squiers, for those of us that are into modding stuff, is it just makes it fun. Because you don't really have anything to worry about. There's no value proposition in it because you're not killing the value. Some would say, well, it's not worth putting into it because, yeah, but it's not a resale thing. This is not a resale thing for me. I'm building a toy for myself that I really, really enjoy. Now, that's one crowd of people, like the modders and the people that want to like put all the stuff in the guitar and, do various things to it. Because one of the things you can do is you can take the pick guard off, because it's routed for a humbucker underneath there, and you could put 2 humbuckers in this thing and make it a real rock and roller, So it's very moddable and very playable and very fun. Now, on the other extreme of it, what if it is just an entry-level guitar for you that you're trying to decide if you want to play guitar, or maybe it's a gift for somebody and you're trying to decide how much, you don't want to spend a bunch of money because you're not sure how committed they are to it. You could just totally leave this guitar alone, totally stock, and it would be an excellent, excellent instrument to learn on. It's just, I'm really impressed with it. I've been playing it a bunch, and I've got more expensive Telecasters up there, but this thing is really kind of fun. And it just takes the commitment and the lower entry level of getting into this thing and then kind of doing what you want with it and giving you a blank slate to do really fun stuff with. I think it's very, very cool. I know this is not a very long video. I'll leave a link to the pickup. I'll leave a link to the tuners. I'll leave a link to the guitar itself in the description. We used our Tonex pedal today for all the sounds that you heard, and we used the Wampler Moxie. I think it's a pretty cool setup. I think this is something that if you don't have one of these, I don't know how you can go wrong. I want to say thanks again to all my Patreon supporters. This guitar was actually made possible by a Patreon supporter, so thank you so much. All the money that comes in on Patreon supporters and the super thanks stuff down there and the join members and stuff, that's what I use to buy guitars for demos, because we don't get free stuff from the industry because they don't always like what I say. So, there you go. Thank you so much for your support. Hit the subscribe button and the like button, like I said, and Dylan Talks Tone. The links will be down here for this pickup. I think you're going to dig it. We will see you probably Monday.